Hiya lovelies, or welcome if you're new here, I'm Linz. So I want to say a massive hello to everybody that's new and also to all my lovely subscribers. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday and I really want to just wish you all the best health and happiness for this year coming forward. Now we're a day late today with the upload because things have just got on top of me a little bit, but I hope to be back to my usual schedule of Tuesday evenings, depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching, of course, next week. But we're going to get on today with, I'm going to have to maybe call them, they're my meatballs. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? But my mashup meatballs this week because I haven't been shopping yet and I've just got to use what I've got available. But I've done this recipe before, so it should be fine. So in this mixing bowl here, I have 250 grams of pork mince, and I also have 325 grams of lean beef mince. Now I would normally, see if I can get some better lighting going on first. I would normally use a half and half, but this is just what I had in the freezer and I defrosted last night. Then I have some onion granules, which I am just going to mix in. We're using these wee measures today. I'm going to put in, hopefully, she says. Why do onion granules always go a bit sticky? I am going to put in around about 1 tablespoon of onion granules. Now, if you'd like, you could use a normal onion, just a normal onion, a real onion finely chopped, that works as well. This is Italian mixed herb. And again, I am going to be adding 1 full tablespoon into there. Then I am going to be adding some parsley. And again, I want around about the tablespoon of parsley. Now this one's messy because you kind of really have to get your hands in there. And I have forgot the pepper. Of course I have. If you've been here a while, then you'll know it's just everyday standard stuff. Now I'm just adding half a teaspoon of ground black pepper in with that mix. Now I'm not going to be adding any salt because you can if you want to, it's entirely up to yourselves. But the reason why is I've made my own homemade tomato sauce to go with this, and it has a bit of salt in it, so I'm not, and then it can be added, I suppose, if you want it at the end. Now this is 1 beaten up egg. I would probably normally use 2, but this is all I've got left in the fridge, so we're just hoping for the best. Doesn't that look fantastic? So we might just try to start off with mixing it a little bit before we get the hands in that mess. Now the egg just acts as a bit of a binding agent. If you have some breadcrumbs, you could add that in as well. Now these are more of a, well, because I've added Italian seasoning, these are more of an Italian type meatball, I suppose, but please don't slate me in the comments if you're Italian and I'm completely messing this up. Instead, give me a recipe. I'd love it. This is just something I've concocted over the years that, yeah. Any of the things you see me use in most of my videos will be linked down below in the description for anybody that's new. Or it's got the show more thing or something like that. We want to just give that a good mix so everything's kind of combined. Now, as I said, I've made up my own homemade tomato sauce, like a pasta sauce type thing. Again, my own recipe from some tomatoes I had from the garden that were in the freezer this year. I do one as well with chopped tin tomatoes, and if you're interested in seeing that, do let me know and I will do a video on it at some stage. And always make sure when handling raw meat or anything like that that you've washed your hands, everything is disinfected. Yeah, you know. Now I like to use what's classed as an ice cream scoop to make my meatballs with. And basically what I do is I try and get as full as possible, as full as possible, and then this is where everything starts to get a bit messy. I'm just going to bring them together, and I find that that just makes a nice size meatball. So that's just a standard ice cream scoop. And again, you could quite easily just buy a packet out of the supermarket. It probably actually works out cheaper as well. And there's less faffing around. Not sure how many this is going to make, but I know it's going to be too many for us just to have for dinner. So once they're cooked, the remainder of them I will be putting into a Ziploc bag, and they'll go into the freezer for another day. So let me know down in the comments, how have your holidays been, guys? They've been good? Any New Year's resolutions? Mine is just to be more present, I think. I'm sure you don't need to watch me doing the rest of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop this video now, and we'll come back when I'm getting on to the cooking part. Now, lovelies, I got 8 out of that. You could quite easily get 16 if you just done them half the size. So we're going to take out drawer 1. I'm removing the crisper tray, and I am going to pop these directly into the base. No oil. And I would say, because these are quite large, we're only going to have maybe 2 each. So that's brilliant, because then that means the rest of them will go into the freezer. Depends how big your appetite is and how much. So I thought I was going to have to use the 2 trays, but we'll get away with that, I think. Now I am going to give them a tiny spritz. Hold on till we move some of this out of the way so you can actually see. I am actually going to give these a tiny spritz. Again, if you're new here, you're sick of me saying this if you've been here a while. This here is one of the spray bottles of, I think it was like Low-Cal or something. When it was finished, I just cleaned it out and then refilled it with, this is vegetable oil. So just a couple of sprays over the top. And these are going to go into drawer 1. I've learnt this year, I've turned on the air fryer at the wall. So we are going to go in at air fry, and I am going to go down to 180. Again, I will put Fahrenheit up on the screen somewhere around here for those of you that are in Fahrenheit, and I am going to put them on for 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and check them. Now, if you're going to be adding your sauce in with these, that will probably be the time to put them in, but we'll get to that bit when we get there. Now, lovelies, these have just finished their cooking time. And as expected, we do have the sort of juices that have come out of them there. But what I'm going to do, we're just going to give a quick temperature probe. Are we? Yep. Just to see what we have going on. And I'm getting a reading there of 77, which means that they're perfectly cooked. Now, what I'm going to actually do with these, hold on, I'll just bring these down so you can see. Because I am just going to remove these Just pop them onto a plate for a second. Because I want to just give this tray a little bit of a rinse out before we get on with the next step. Oh, they smell amazing. So that there so far is the meatballs. I'm just going to go and wash this out, and then I'll come back and show you how I finish off my meatballs in tomato sauce. But if you were just doing them to have maybe with some gravy or something, then you can follow different steps for this part. So I have just give the tray just a quick rinse out, and that's more to get rid of sort of like the bits, the blood and stuff that comes out. Yeah, you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all these now back in. And I'm going to add my tomato sauce. Yeah. So again, depending on whether you're doing sort of maybe gravy with yours or things like that. If you were doing them maybe just with gravy, then maybe don't add the mixed herb or the mixed Italian herb. So many different ways you can make these. So this here is just some of my tomato pasta sauce that I made up earlier, and I am just going to pour a couple of bits of this in here. Again, this is going to be preference on what you prefer, your taste. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. The rest of that tomato sauce I will put in a freezer bag. So if we can see in there, now we're going back in. Now that tomato sauce I will add was still a little bit hot, but I'm not going to change the temperature I'd normally do this at. So basically I am going to go on to air fry now, and I'm going to bring that down to 170. And we are going to go for 8 minutes at that, and then that's ready to plate up after that bit. So if that's all you wanted to see, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to give me the thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back anyway when this is done and give you a look. Bye. This has just finished, and we're going to bring you down and have a look. And get the camera in the right angle. Now lovelies, that is my, we call them mash-up meatballs and tomato sauce. So basically, you know, the most important part of doing this is making sure you do a temperature check and making sure they're above, you know, the temperature you need them at, depending on what meat you're using. If you were just doing them on their own, as you've seen, they were cooked at the 15 minutes, and they probably didn't need that extra 8, but it's just the way I do them. There's going to be so many different ways people do different things, and that's what makes us all amazing, because we're all unique and we all have our own special things, I suppose. But lovelies, I am going to insert some pictures of this plated up with some pasta. I'm just waiting for that to finish over there, because like normal, I got my timings wrong. So wherever you are, I hope that you're all keeping well, doing well. Remember, just look after yourselves, stay positive, stay kind, and I wish you all the best for 2024. See you soon.